everyone, and welcome to episode 89 of Lesbian Talk, where it's just me and Omega in a room with a camera talking about shite. Hello!
Lesbian Talk. There might be a cat eventually if one, knocks at the door. Well, not knocks, but, scratches at the door. We'll let them in.
Yeah, we're recording this while I'm over visiting, and we got the camera and stuff rather than doing a Skype thing. So, hello!
Because that is so complicated. Literally, you guys, everything has just become so much more complicated for me. It used to be just easy, and I would just take my time, and I would go through the sound editing, and then I would sync it up and everything. But now that I can't do that, now it just takes forever and
Yeah, because Omega's lost her visual editing system. So the last one, there was occasional audio issues, and that was because I didn't have the audio technology to fix it. And Omega didn't have the audio time to fix it.
That's true.
So
I've been working a shit ton of hours per week now.
So this time, because of the camera, we shouldn't have any audio issues except for the obvious ones that come with this camera and us sitting really close to the camera. But as per usual, I'm doing the editing.
Like the people that'll be leaving comments. Occasionally, I heard something go "bwah." I'm like, no, that was just me going "bwah," and they'll be like, "Oh, okay."
Did you look through the Lesbian Talk of the last one?
I haven't yet because I told you that I didn't. Because you sent it to me at 3 in the morning. I saw it when I was at work. I got off work at 7 last night. You were with me the whole entire time. Then I woke up this morning, went to work. You picked me up from work.
I wasn't suggesting you listen to it. I was just because I put new pictures in.
When would I have had the time to download it? I was going to actually download it and put it up tonight.
I put new pictures into it, different ones.
Oh no!
So this will shock you when you see them.
Was there a penis?
No, there was no penis. Well, next I'll put a penis in just to annoy you.
Is there a kitten?
No. But first thing we're talking about, and this is because Omega's all like, I want to talk about this.
No, because it's something that I was like, oh, we can talk about this because it's something we've never talked about. We're going to have some culture all up in this shiznit.
I'm an American and I want to talk about this.
Listen, yesterday was July 4th, so it was basically my country's birthday, so basically we got our way. Even though I spent, literally most of it, going off about international politics. It was really great because I was like, damn it, I have to work, but it's the 4th of July, so I'm going to have a party. So I went to Tesco, and I got a whole bunch of American treats and snacks, and then I laid them out in the break room, and everyone's like, oh, snacks and treats, nice. What's this for? And I'm like, it's Independence Day. Celebrate your independence from, yourselves, awkwardly enough. And my brother-in-law sent me a text, Happy Unprovoked Rebellion Day. And I was like, gee, thanks. I was like, I'll celebrate my independence from the UK in between, fervently attempting to become a UK citizen.
Yes.
Which translates into, I get my way and I always win, and you're wrong. But yeah, so, we have never talked about high culture here on the show, have we?
Well, I'm pretty sure you talked about the joys of Colorado.
They're not high culture like marijuana culture,
I wasn't talking about marijuana. I was talking about mountains.
But no, I don't really listen to classical music. The closest I ever came to listening to classical music
is Ghost Love Score from Nightwish.
I have that though. No, is pestering my parent. Okay, against my will, or by my own volition, because my parents would listen to a lot of classical music against my will. But there used to be commercials on TV, and this was back when, brace yourselves, you couldn't just download music. People would put together special, mixtapes and sell them. So I think this was a Time Life collection, and there's probably the commercial still online, so Google it, if you feel the inclination. That there was this set, I think it was 2 or 3 albums worth. It was called Classical Thunder. And it was basically all the exciting classical music. The 1812 Overture and Night on Bald Mountain. And
Ode
that's
to Joy.
No, it wasn't hardcore enough. And there's probably others. I don't really remember the commercial, but I'm sure that it must have been impressive. And it was lightning was striking and wind was blowing. You're in the commercial oh, I want this. But yeah, so that's really the most culture that I can think of right now. I mean, I went to the ballet 2 times, professionally, because it used, my Aunt Phyllis is really awesome. She's my favorite aunt. She used to, try to, I think it was her and Aunt Vicky colluding, trying to make this a thing, that the day before Christmas Eve, a lot of the cousins would be over at my Aunt Phyllis and Uncle Phil's house, just helping make the cookies and getting everything ready and trying to, like, literally stop vibrating because, oh my god, we're 48 hours away from Christmas. So 2 years in a row, they took us to see the Philadelphia Ballet Company do the Nutcracker. Now,
glass harmonica.
you were like scratching with the glass harmonica. Wiki, wiki,
Glass harmonica.
and then he went mad. Because a lot of people thought that it would drive you mad.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, so the problem with that was I think, like 5 or 6 at the time. And ballet is long. Like, ballet, like, an hour spent watching ballet is like equivalent to 17 kid hours. So, I, at that point in my life, could not imagine anything that took longer. Not even driving up to New York City from Philadelphia. That took longer than the Nutcracker. So I wasn't really into ballet. Like, all my little friends did ballet. Mom's like, do you want to do ballet? And I'm like, no. That's a pussy girl kind of thing to do.
Omega wanted to dress like the village people instead and do disco.
Exactly. But so I did end up getting cultured accidentally in my youth because Philadelphia Opera Company did this thing in conjunction with local elementary schools that I think it was dirt cheap. I think it was something like maybe $50 or $75 a year. You bought like the special student thing, and then you got 2 tickets to all of the operas they put on. They did about 4 a year. So for a few years running, my mom enlisted us in this, and so I was exposed to a whole bunch of opera as a child, which is really weird.
Now, my parents listened to a lot of classical music growing up. It was always whenever driving around their car, it was always classic FM playing. It's just like, oh, classic music all the time. And then my dad would be like snippy and things because like, oh, this is a film score. This isn't classical music.
I can so imagine your dad saying that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Though sometimes he finds film scores acceptable, but only if he likes the film, bizarrely enough. Except for like some crappy historical films like King Arthur. He's got the soundtrack and he's like, I don't even want to see the film. It's like, Another Brick in Hadrian's Wall. Oh, the track is good, but I'm not watching the film just because of that name.
All in all, you're just another brick in Hadrian's Wall.
That's one of the tracks from the King Arthur soundtrack.
We
don't need no Roman centurions.
We don't need no Latin syntax.
Yeah.
Anyway. But, yeah, so I ended up going to all these operas, and I tell you what, so, imagine me, like I said, a little teeny kid. It's 2 days before Christmas, and I have to sit through the Nutcracker suite, which is last 7 years, I swear to Christ. But, like, opera is even worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been Einstein on the Beach, which lasts about 5 hours. It's the same fucking thing over the time. Find a score, dear audience, of Einstein on the Beach. You can find it on YouTube, I'm pretty sure.
With the song by the Counting Crows?
No, I'm talking about the opera.
Oh,
the opera by Philip Glass.
Oh, but Philip Glass, like, that's his thing, though.
Yeah, it's repetitive and long and weird.
Like, literally, Philip Glass, it probably takes him at least 2 hours to order a drink at the pub. I mean,
There is a play called Philip Glass Goes Down to the Shops and Buys a Loaf of Bread.
You're lying to me?
No, I'm not. And it's a parody of Einstein on the Beach. And it is... okay, because Einstein on the Beach, the music is based on...
Like, he would go in the shop, do you have whole wheat?
That's part of it.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
in Einstein on the Beach, the music is based on mathematical theorems, so it sounds weird. But it's constantly repeating over and over again. So it's like someone says something, then someone else says something, then it repeats over and over again. It lasts for about 4 hours. You can actually...
all the king's men reappear.
You can actually play, like, go skip 10 minutes in Einstein on the Beach, and sometimes it's pretty much the same as it was.
Oh, Jesus.
But the play, Philip Glass goes down to the shop and buys a loaf of bread. He meets a bunch of people on the way, and he's like, I am going down to buy a loaf of bread, and then it gets repeated by everyone he meets, and every single line that is said in the play is repeated. So...
Oh, no, it's like some kind of harmonic convergence of
Yes,
play.
But it's parodying Einstein. It's parodying Einstein on the Beach. Now, I like the sound of Einstein on the Beach. I think it sounds fine. It's just 18 hours long. But he also...
The thing about ballet was that you didn't have to worry about, like, 'cause barely anyone talked or sang or anything. But the problem with most opera is it's not written in English.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a child that didn't care. Now, eventually, what the Philadelphia Opera Company started doing is they had a little bar at the top where English subtitles would be projected up, and that was pretty good.
Hmm.
And so I saw the first opera I saw was Carmen, which is basically like why you should not sleep with Spanish people. No, that's West Side Story.
Same difference.
No, it's not. Carmen is the Anvil chorus and the Toreador song, and
there's
a tango in there. I don't really remember any of it except like she's not real. I don't know if she's a whore or she's just promiscuous.
She wears a red coat and no one knows where she is.
No, that's Carmen Sandiego. That would actually if the opera Carmen was about Carmen Sandiego, that would have fucking rocked. But no, it was written it's in French, if I remember correctly. And it's about what a Frenchman believes the Spanish get up to. And there's like bullfighting, and there's like two people are going after her, and she's being kind of coy about it and kind of dramatic, and she ends up getting stabbed. Literally, like most operas have really high body counts.
Especially if the opera's named after you.
Yeah. I saw Tosca twice. And Tosca is another one where it's like, everyone dies because somebody wants to get theirs. Like, guys like, she wants the D, and she's like, I want the D, but not your D. And he's like, guess what? You're getting stabbed. But the good thing about Tosca is, like, so here's the thing. It's like, so this bad guy, Scarpio, he's like some kind of minor government guy. He's got a castle. So he's got her, Tosca, like, kidnapped. And he's like, I'm gonna, like, literally marry you. And she's like, no, but my fiancé. And there's a really famous aria from Tosca that it's like at the dawn we will conquer or something like that. But so basically he's like, I'm gonna have your fiance shot before firing squad on a trumped up charge, and she's like, no, fine, I'll sleep with you. And so he rapes her, and then he says, he says, okay, go see your fiance. I still have to go through the execution, or else I'll look bad as an authority figure. But tell him that there are blanks in the guns, just to make it look convincing, and fall down. He'll be drug away, and I'll let you guys go free now that I've gotten what I wanted from you. I took your virginity. She's like, alright. So she goes and tells him that, and he's like, well, fine. So, but Scarpio, he cheated, and there were no blanks in the guns. They were actually full of bullets. And she goes back, and then she gets so angry, and she says, I did it, he did it. He's like, oh, great, it was so great taking your virginity, and she freaks out, she kills him. And then she goes to get her fiance and go away, and then finds out, oh no, he's dead too. So then she sings this big aria on top of the castle, and then all of Scarpio's men, who actually were just fairly blameless, really, were like, no, there she is, she killed him. And then she sings her last line, and she throws herself off of the top of the thing. And the first time I saw it, the part of Tosca was sang by this little old spindly woman, who was like very like frail, and the thing is like she's supposed to throw herself off. And so she kind of, like, closes her eyes and, like, takes a step, like she's, like, stepping off the high dive. And then the second time I saw it, the part of Tosca was played by a younger woman, who was very ample, shall we say. And the thing about the reason that these seats were so cheap was they had you up in the nosebleed section at the Academy of Music and Arts and stuff in Philly. So you could see down behind the stage. So she delivers her aria, and she says, Scarpio, I will see you in hell. And she throws herself off of the balcony, off of the stage work. And she bounced a little, because apparently there was padding back there. And I was snickering.
Thesis idea. The similarities between opera and American-style soap operas.
Ready, go. We'll be collecting these at the end of the...
Yeah.
End of the term. Oh, I saw, though they did do comedies occasionally. I saw Der Fledermaus, which is a German comedy, and it means
Batman.
The bat. No, it just means the... Would that it were about Batman. No, it's about this guy that, like, literally cheats on his wife with fucking everybody, and then, but she's okay because she's cheating on him with fucking everybody, and then he's going to this fancy dress costume dressed like a bat, and then, like, he gets thrown in jail. It just...
But then he's thrown in jail for being a vigilante, and then there's this guy with the mustache and glasses who's like, no, he's on the side of the law, and then the man who smiles comes in, and he's like, I'm a character from a 1920s silent German film. I'm the inspiration for the Joker. And then it's awesome.
Well, like, after all of these miscommunications, he's finally freed from jail, And his wife's like, you've been cheating on me with, like, everyone. He's like, you've been cheating on me with, like, everyone. And everyone's like, ha ha ha. And then everyone sings a song about how great champagne is.
Okay.
Oh, those Germans. Let's see, I saw Rigoletto.
Have you ever heard any Therian?
I don't really remember. What?
Have you ever heard any Therian?
Is that the thing that goes wow wow wow? That.
No, that's a theremin.
Oh.
Therian is the name of a...
Tyrion Lannister.
No, that's Tyrion. Therian's the name of a band, but okay, they started off as sort of a blacky death metal type band, sort of like a Rar Skulls, as you would put it.
Rar Skulls.
But over years, they sort of changed a little bit, and then within the course of one album, they turned into an opera metal band, where they do like covers of opera songs and things. Like they did a cover version of what do you call it, the Carmen Burana and everything, and they occasionally do covers.
Oh. Okay, finish what you're saying, and then.
And like one of the ones they did an opera metal cover version of Summer Night City by ABBA. And I'm like, why not do an entire album concept based on an opera? Like, do every single part of the opera, or maybe cut parts out of, like I know the Ring Cycle is like 20 hours long, just do bits of it.
Oh, my mom made us watch that on PBS once. Okay, Wagnerian opera, like, people used to go to it and pack meals, like, peasants back in the day. This is so serious. Like, the Ring das Nibelung, which is, like, this 4-opera, 12,000-hour thing that Wagner did, which is basically, like, all the Norse mythology ever, except, like, probably the part where Thor joins the Avengers. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an update version that included that, but we had to watch it on PBS, and I was like, I'm dying. Why can't we watch Nickelodeon? But you know who can fuck right off? Mozart can fuck right off. Because The Magic Flute is the worst opera ever.
You know, Stephen Fry wrote an adaptation of that.
Well, maybe he made it better.
He wrote the one that Kenneth Branagh directed.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever, but...
Well, it was nice. It was completely surreal, the film.
Well, here's the thing about the Magic Flute. We went to go see it. And I had a really bad cold, and I kind of didn't want to go, but we'd already spent the money for these tickets at the beginning of the year, so whatever. But they were hyping that, oh, the serpent is a 40-foot puppet. Well, it was a 40-foot puppet that you basically only saw 10 feet of on the stage. And I was like, we came for this. But they had this thing where, oh, it's new, we didn't use scenery, it's just these patterns projected onto the wall, so kind of like their own green screen. But the patterns were like upholstery kind of patterns. And they like, instead of like, they just shifted and melded into each other. And I was on so much NyQuil that it was a pretty psychedelic experience. But still, Mozart can fuck right off.
Now, Mozart's fine. Mozart, he did the Requiem, which was really good. And he wrote lots of body songs about shit and farting.
It was a bad opera. It's just not even good. It's a bad opera. Nobody dies, it just sucks.
Well, that's one that apparently was getting him to be more successful, because he had, early in his career he was really popular, then he was less popular, and then Magic Flute was like his comeback, and then he died like the next year.
No. I mean, we saw E Puritani, which is, I think, involves Oliver Cromwell in some part, but everyone died in that one. E Puritani means the Puritans. We saw Pagliacci. It was alright. Pagliacci's about this clown who's sad. Like, paradoxically, he's melancholy. And his wife is, like, fucking everyone, and he is, like, very possessive of her, so just, it's another opera where just everybody dies. Let's see, we saw Pagliacci, what else? We saw Rigoletto, and, my mom said that the guy who sang was really poor. He wasn't, like, he didn't have a strong voice, and it was so bad that we left at halftime. And I told people this, and I was like, no, intermission, it wasn't halftime. I was like, we left at halftime. Right before the cheerleaders came out.
I've bought a copy of Farinelli Il Castrato for my review list. It's a biography of a 18th century castrati opera singer.
That's kind of cool.
I had a copy on VHS, but I've updated to my 2DVD copy. And I'll review it at some point, because, you know, no one else is going to review a movie about a castrato.
Kyle, probably.
It's not an art house film. It's like a biopic.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's Italian language biopic. So it's like, I can't see anyone else in the reviewing community really doing this, except someone maybe who listens to this and decides to challenge themselves. In which case, good luck. I hear it's quite hard to find in America.
I'm trying to think of all. I mean, we've been to so many, but I've like so few of them stand out in my mind now. Just the cool thing, like the bad thing was I had to get dressed up and like put on a dress and tights and like shoes and get my hair did and stuff like that. But on the other hand, you could buy M&Ms during halftime, and I would get
for like 100 million times more expensive.
Actually, no, like about market price,
I when I went to musicals, the food was always much more expensive.
Yeah.
I've never seen an opera live. I've seen musicals. I've seen Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I have seen Blood Brothers and a couple other ones.
I saw Phantom up in Canada on a band trip once. But then again, I had the CDs, so I saw a lot of high school musicals. Like, when my friends were in high school musicals, so I went. Like The Secret Garden. Which totally is different from the book, and that there's like an extra brother. Like the old guy has like a brother, and now they were like both like fighting for the girl's love. They do have this really dramatic song called Lily's Eyes, which is the only redeeming part of that musical, but...
I saw, this isn't a musical or anything, I saw a stage adaptation of The Hobbit in the Millennium Forum, where they only had like 4 dwarves, and they cut most of the play out, most of the story out.
Once Upon a Time, the end.
Basically, because it was only like an hour and a half.
I've seen plays. I saw August Wilson's 2 Trains Running in Philadelphia years ago, and that was very powerful. I've seen Noises Off, which is just so not my favorite play. I've seen a lot of different plays. But anyway, enough about our culture, because I can't think of any more operas to talk about.
We could have talked about rock operas. But we're going to talk about something else.
Well, what did you make me watch a few weeks ago? I mean, yesterday. What did you make me watch yesterday?
I'm going to watch Event Horizon, and we're going to discuss it for a little bit because we never did a vlog. So, if you haven't seen mid-90s, one of the few decent Paul Anderson sort of films.
Is it not the one he sold his soul for?
Well, in my theory, he sold his soul after his first film, Shopping. And he was all like, please, devil, let me make a lot of good films, And then the devil's like, your soul's not worth that, Paul Anderson. I'll give you 2 and a bit. And he's like, sold! So, Mortal Kombat and Event Horizon are his good ones, and then a bit, as in the first 8 minutes of Soldier. Psh. Which came right after Event Horizon. It's like, there you go. Now Paul Anderson does nothing but shit.
Oh.
But Event Horizon, the world's greatest unofficial Warhammer 40,000 movie. Basically, guy creates a faster than light sort of hyperdrive type thing ship, and it vanishes when they first jump. 7 years later, it appears again, and they're like, "Oh my God, what's happened?" They send a team out to try and work out what's happened to it, and to sort of salvage it, to bring it back.
And everything goes perfectly.
Yep. The hyperspace it had to go through is basically a realm of pure evil chaos, and it's possessed the ship, and it's basically a haunted house story in space. Weirdly enough, 2 days ago, when I was editing the end of Vijandravarma, I watched Death Ship, this movie from 1981.
Death Ship.
See if this reminds you of anything, honey.
Okay.
Okay. People on a cruise liner sinks when it hits a mysterious abandoned ship. The people get into the abandoned ship, where horrible things had happened previously. All the crew are dead inside it. The captain of the cruise liner goes insane and starts trying to make sure they can't leave the ship, and the ship starts killing people randomly, and he demands that everyone stay to power the ship to work on it and die there.
Yep.
Death Ship is Event Horizon. In
international waters.
Yeah. But in Death Ship, it was like, it's evil because it was a Nazi ship where a bunch of Jews were killed.
Why would the Nazis spend the time and effort and resources to take Jews, out into the ocean and kill them?
I don't know, but they found entire rooms full of, gold teeth.
Well, maybe they were, shipping stuff from concentration camps. That's kind of evil.
Yeah, maybe, but where were they shipping it to? Because this is, middle of the ocean.
Well, maybe they were shipping it, from the north coast of Africa to France. And, there was a hurricane, and it got blown off course for a 3-hour tour.
For 30 years.
They ended up on Gilligan's Island.
The most horrifying thing in the film is Saul Rubinick's amazing unibrow.
Amazing unibrow.
It's like, oh, I found a worse thing that you were in than as Dr. Munger in Memory Run. But
Memory Run.
Event Horizon. Okay.
No, let's talk more about Memory Run.
Memory Run. Event Horizon is not perfect, but it is decent. Like, for instance, I would remove half of the guy Cooper's dialogue. This guy, he's in a completely different film. It's like a serious film. Everyone else is treating it seriously, even if
he's like, I'm in the newest comedy with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, basically, it's like having Chris Tucker in Alien. It's really annoying. And, some of the other actors they're all taking it seriously, but some of them are crap. But, they're at least treating it seriously. This guy's like, I want to be Eddie Murphy.
And then you have Sean Pertwee.
Yep, Sean Pertwee, who is rather hilarious. He, evil possessed person puts a bomb in the ship, and he's like, I gotta find the bomb. Oh, no, someone set me up the bomb. Da, 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 da. And now all of their base belong to them. And so he finds it, and it's got a timer. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then boom. Right beside the timer, which possibly wasn't as obvious in the VHS, but on DVD it's really fucking obvious.
Yep.
It says disable. He's like,
oh
no, I can't in 5 seconds raise my arm and press a button. No, it's just too much work.
He was panicking. He was in shock.
I guess I'll just die then.
No, because he had to go off and be in CAD files. So.
He was depressed because his father had died earlier that year.
Oh, really? He was?
Well, I don't know, but
this came out. Something that you
this came out like the year after John Pertwee died.
Oh, okay. Maybe
so,
he was too.
So he's just like, so this permeated the character and made him more depressed.
Yeah, and like the youngest crew member and like one of the women had like this weird like mama bear baby bear thing going on. Like
and they also called someone else Papa Bear.
Yeah, that was like kind of creepy. Just saying.
And yesterday, while Omega was working, I was skipping through Netflix, and I ended up watching Supernova with James Spader, and it was similar in bits to Event Horizon, in the, oh no, we're gonna go to a disaster thing, oh no, horror movie happens, but
it has its own fanfare.
Oh
yeah. You have now entered the horror movie.
Steve Rail's back.
Steve Rail's back.
But okay, here's my impassioned thing about Event Horizon. This might be a rumor or a lie or something. Event Horizon, about 10 to 15 minutes of it was cut out.
Oh yeah, right.
And so the version we have, if you listen to the commentary, they even talk about it. This is much cut down what they wanted. Like, they had a very, very cut down post-production thing. If they'd been given another couple of months, they would have been able to have more gore into it and still get the same rating. So it's really cut down. However, this came out just on the cusp of the DVD sort of revolution. So they deleted all the extra features. They deleted all of the deleted scenes and everything. But then they discovered some of them in a salt mine in Transylvania, which sounds like I'm being sarcastic.
Like you do.
But there's rumors that someone found a completed work print of it, and it's just okay. Finding any deleted film, missing film is wonderful. Whether it be Metropolis, London After Midnight, or some piece of shit with, I don't know. I'm gonna make up an actor's name, Paul O'Grady.
Oh, I'm Paul O'Grady.
Ironically, there is an actor called Paul O'Grady.
No, probably, yeah.
But the uncut Event Horizon is the film I'd like to see more than any others, because I want to see the full-on gore version.
Well, I mean, if there's bits of Doctor Who still out there from the 60s, I'm sure someone's got this.
Well, this was never released. That's why Doctor Who was sold to different people in the different groups, so a lot of people had access to it. It was never released, so it's harder to find. Statistically, it's harder to find.
Okay, that's a good point.
But, the rumor is that there is an uncut copy which is found on VHS. It's badly degraded, but it's viewable. And, interestingly, Event Horizon actually forced Kevin Smith to do rewrites to the script of Dogma. Because right at the end of Dogma, if you've ever seen it, a guy shows someone else a vision of hell. Now, in the script for Dogma, it actually says, show quick cuts of horrible tortures just to give the people an idea of what hell looks like, done subliminally. Lots of one-frame things. So, hell looks a bit like, some of my intros do. But Event Horizon came out before Dogma, and they did that exact same thing. So Kevin Smith was like, oh, god damn it, I gotta be subtle and remove that shit. God fucking damn it.
That was my idea, you bastards.
Yep.
That's me being Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
How come that's your voice for everything?
Yeah. I don't know.
Stop doing it, I don't like it.
heard this voice instead.
No, you always use the bad ones. Just use your normal voice.
Okay. So what did you think of Event Horizon?
It was alright. Well, I mean, what do you want? I mean, it was not bad.
It was better than The Matrix.
Well...
Controversial statement.
I don't know. See, it's been such a long time, though, since I saw The Matrix.
Do not like The Matrix.
It was alright. I mean, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Second one was alright. I never saw the third one.
I don't like any of them.
I liked the Animatrix, though. All those little vignettes based on the... That was good.
I didn't like any of The Matrix.
Me. I'm a big snob because I've seen every movie ever.
Be controversial and say that out of science fiction films which had a big budget and made a lot of money in 1999, I would say that Star Wars Episode 1 was more fulfilling than The Matrix. And that's not to say Star Wars Episode 1 was good, it's just it's not as bad as The Matrix. I preferred The Matrix.
Why do you hate The Matrix so much?
I preferred The Matrix when it was called Dark City.
I like Dark City. I did like Dark City, that's true.
Dark City is broadly the same film. It's just one's goth and sort of
well, no, because
Art Deco.
It's robots using humanity as a battery versus aliens.
That's the background.
Versus
that's not the plot.
No, but I'm saying versus aliens just watching humanity like an anthill.
Both of them feature a guy who discovers that that the world that surrounds them is completely not what it appears. Who develops powers to be like the people who are watching them, who are controlling them, and these people who are watching and controlling them appear to be humans wearing black, but they're not.
But it's a totally different thing, though. I don't think you can compare the two.
They even reused a lot. You know the rooftop scenes from the Matrix?
Mm-hmm.
They used the same sets as Dark City.
Yeah, but
they
you
were
can't.
Made the same thing back to back.
I don't think they're comparable. They can be. You can say they're similar, but I don't think they're comparable.
I stand by my Matrix trilogy in 5 seconds video, which was just Dark City, because Dark City does the entire Matrix trilogy, even up to the amazing sort of nighttime battle in the sky between the one and the leader of the baddie things, like the version of Agent Smith. They even did that.
Yeah, I'm just saying though.
Much prefer Dark City.
Wow.
Besides, if you're gonna have like an alien, why would you bother? Would you get a bunch of prosthetics, or would you just hire Richard O'Brien and Bruce Spence? Really?
I don't know who they are.
Oh.
Whoa.
Someone in the audience knows. If you
write the show.
If you're in the audience, please tweet at Omega and say that Bruce Spence and Richard O'Brien look like aliens.
Don't tweet at me telling me that. I've just heard it.
Okay.
Disregard her or belay that last order.
Bruce Spence played the mouth of Sauron in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
And he was in Mad Max 2 and 3. In both of those films, he played gyro captains. Not the same character because he died in 2. He was also in Star Wars Episode 3, and he has a tendency to turn up in the third part of science fiction things.
Maybe
fantasy.
he's in his contract.
He was in the third part of the Matrix films. It's just like Matrix, Star Wars, Mad Max, Lord of the Rings. It's just like, it's me, Bruce Spence. Ha ha ha! I look weird.
If you're Bruce Spence, write the show. But anyway, yeah, it was alright. I mean, it was entertaining. I was entertained. I was taking bets on who's gonna live and not.
And you got a bit wrong on that.
Yeah, I did.
Whenever we watch a horror film and I've already seen it, I love to find out who Omega thinks is gonna survive, because then I can sort of gauge how well the filmmakers are doing their job.
I didn't like Cube. We watched that and I didn't like it.
Cube's awesome.
I didn't like how it ended. I didn't like that it was ambiguous.
Well, according to the makers, there is no world outside the cube.
Well, they came from somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It wasn't good.
I love Cube and I love Hypercube.
It was clever. It was clever how cheaply they made it. Just using the same room over and over and over again. That's really neat, but I didn't like it. Just saying.
Cube Zero's terrible.
Yep.
I'm slowly trying to show her a bunch of funky films.
When I can be talked into it.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm like, oh, I've just got takeaway. Let's watch QI. Oh, let's watch Iron Chef on YouTube. I'm like, no, I want to watch this movie. It's not even in English and everybody's head explodes. No.
And then other times I'm like, this is a film that I've seen before and I want to show you. Please, 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 please.
One time, for punishment, I made you watch movies. Oh no, that was because I was sick and I was able to guilt you into it. We watched The Englishman That Went Up the Hill But Came Down the Mountain and Practical Magic.
Yeah.
Which are two of my favorite guilty pleasure movies.
Yeah, watch them back to back. We have to watch Night Watch, Sunish.
Yeah, we do.
Because someone has requested that.
Well, see, that's usually why we end up watching these movies is a Patreon requested. You're like, a Patreon has requested it. I'm like, that's technically your problem and not mine because they're your patron. But I'm like, no, fine.
Well, for the backseat critiques, I need someone else to play
well,
off.
that's fair enough.
And for the notes taking, prefer to do it with you because I love you.
Aww, as I said, the best lines. Like,
someone request Ginger Snaps 2
no,
and Cube
don't do
2
it.
Hypercube for backseat critiques.
No, you
and
can't.
then I can force her to watch them.
No, then you can go to Belfast and do it with Robin because don't lick my nose or my ear. But you know what I mean. But so yeah, it was alright.
I was considering doing some sort of a show. I don't know how I would do it, called Movie Math. Where it'd be like, Solaris plus Ghost Ship equals Event Horizon.
No, you should do that. That's a good idea.
I don't know what you'd actually do in the video itself. Just pointing at these two films, you put them together, and you get this.
Mm.
You know?
Well, yeah. Yeah, but you're the kind of clever person that could do that.
You just have to work out what. Be like, Alien plus Bone Kickers equals Prometheus.
I thought you were gonna say plus boner, but I guess that's technically true, isn't it? More like boner kickers.
Blah blah blah. But
archaeology. But so, what are you doing in the next few weeks? Tell the audience all about your life. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean.
I came back from a con, semi-recently-ish, a bit. I was in Belfast for QCon, where I met some fans, which was nice.
And you brought me presents.
Yes, I did. And I did a couple of panels, one Cards Against Humanity audience interaction thing, and I did a version of my 10 films panel. Now, the 10 films panel is primarily ones that I have not reviewed yet. If I review a film on the panel list, I generally replace it. So, if you saw the one I did in AkumaCon, which had Vikingdom and Manborg, the next
10 films that totally blow your mind. You won't believe number 7.
Yep. I'm doing the same one I did at QCon at BroCon, and I'm going to film that one. So it's going to be missing Manborg, Vikingdom, possibly Judges of Turna. I replaced like 5 films, so if you saw the Comic-Con one, it'll be like 5 new ones. Doo-doo-doo.
If you were one of the 7 people in the audience.
But, in about, well, it must be, yeah, just less than a week, I'm going to BroCon in Limerick, where I'm going to do that. I'm also going to be doing...
Limerick is like way the hell in the nowheres of Ireland.
7 hours drive from Derry via bus.
Like, I didn't even think they had that much land to drive through.
Well, it's because we have no motorways.
Yeah, good point. It's all driving through sheep and the sparrows.
Yeah, in small towns and stuff, so it's all like B roads at best.
Yeah, but I'm not going, though, because I have to work.
Yeah, so it's me and the Avatar of Decent Humour, and we're going to meet up with Der Cork and the Unemployed Historian. Unemployed Historian turned up in my Gabriel of the White House review. Where
he is actually Irish. He's actually from the Republic.
Yep, I'm going to appear in a podcast with him. His podcast pilot season, but the Cards Against Humanity audience interactive thing. Get some people from the audience. We play Cards Against Humanity with them in the front of the hall, and other people watch the game, and the people who are watching choose who wins each round. So we get to play cards with people deciding, and all the people get to yell stuff. It's a lot of fun.
$1.
And when we did it in Belfast, I gave DVDs to the audience members who played with us, and at least one of them liked the film. The lady who won, she won the game. She came up to me the next day and went, I watched half of Lucky McKee's The Woods that you gave me, and I thought it was very good." I was like, "Yay!"
And then the week after that.
2 weeks after.
2 weeks after that, we're going to Canada. I don't know why I put that accent on, because we were going to go to Con Bravo. After 3 years in a row of saying, oh, we're totally going to go to Con Bravo,
yeah,
and a certain Canadian fucking it all up for us, this time we have the flights are booked, the hotel room is booked, the tickets are booked, it's happening, people. Prepare yourselves, clench your buttocks, it's happening.
We are Con Bravoing. Now, the person who was setting up sort of internet review-averse type people, as guests at Con Bravo, apparently they know I'm going. They haven't listed me as a guest, So I imagine I will not be doing any panels. I'll just turn up and then someone at Combrava will go like, "Oh, Hagan, if only we knew you were going, I would have set something up." I'm like,
I
well,
contacted the person that runs the Twitter, and they said they were contacting someone and never heard back.
it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're paid for everything anyway. The best I would get is like some money back for the tickets. It's like,
Yeah, I know, but like literally everybody involved in Channel Awesome is guesting, and even people who aren't involved in Channel Awesome are guesting, and I'm like, you should be guesting because you're famous. So I think there you go.
So I'm gonna go. If I'm not doing a panel, I'm not doing a panel.
But
seeing people is much more important.
we're gonna bring this really great board game or card game that Teddy and the Avatar brought back from QCon, and it's called the Anime Pitch Game. And basically, it's like Cards Against Humanity with anime tropes. And you guys, it's awesome. We need to play this drunk. We're gonna have a copy with us. Just come find us, and we'll throw it down.
Yeah, I imagine what we'll do from.
I mean, not first thing in the morning. Like at least afternoon. We'll drink and play this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't just be sat in the pub all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine you'll probably be able to find us in one of the rooms or something.
Yeah, she's tall. You'll see us from a distance.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bring my Omega hoodie because it's gonna be really hot in Canada. So I'm just gonna wear polo shirts.
Okay. I am going to be filming a crossover with Linkara.
My gosh, Linkara.
Dun dun, he's a man. Doo-doo-doo. We're going to
With a
do...
hat? With a
Yes.
hat, yeah.
We're going to review Zsa Zaturna, the greatest Filipino superhero movie ever made. Except for Darna. And Darna Strikes Back and all them. So, Con Bravo.
And allegedly, okay, not allegedly, but I am also going to try, if you're coming to Con Bravo and you have a car and you're not like a scary driver, like let me know and we'll talk because I will bring you, I can't promise I'll bring you a lot, but I'll bring you some UK treats if you will take me 2 places, and one is Walmart because I need to buy new trousers. And people are thin here in the UK, so I can't buy big ass poor person trousers. And also to Hamilton Mall, because I've discovered that there is a Bath and Body Works in Hamilton Mall. And I'm in Bath and Body Works withdrawal. The Body Shop is too expensive. I need my hand sanitizers and my gels and my sprays and yeah, so.
And allegedly I might end up finally getting my copy of the Left Behind
No,
board
it's
game.
not allegedly because basically it's still at my parents' house and also with a White Wolf book that I kickstarted. So what they're doing is I'm going to have them mail it from Pennsylvania over to New Jersey, where Dodger of Zion is going to be driving up to Con Bravo, and she has been bribed with lots of treats and sweets from the UK to bring them to us.
So allegedly, I'll have the board game, and possibly sometime later in the summer we'll be able to record a session of us playing Left Behind the board game.
I think that you should get a variety of religious belief people together and play it at Con Bravo with drinks and then film it. Like, see if you can get Lewis involved because he's like a Christian. You're an atheist. Like, see if we can get any Jewish folks or any Buddhist folks or...
Well, the problem with doing with drinking is if we've never played it before, it's, first time you don't really be drinking when you're playing.
That makes it even better!
Because we have no idea how to
You
play
can,
it.
accidentally screw up and everyone gets raptured. If you've been raptured, write the show. But, yeah. And then in September...
Yes, Alcon in Leicester, where we're meeting up with Welshie
we're
and
going to
Colin
see
and all.
the king.
Yes, we're going to see Richard III as well.
I mean, not him personally, like his grave.
Yeah. But that's in
I'm really
Leicester,
excited
so
about
if you're
this.
in Leicester, hello.
Yeah, come on down and make fun of our accents and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Like you do. So it's Welshie, Film Brain. Jill is not going, right? She's going to some wedding or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Jill Arbera. Sophie Live's going.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Possibly Mike J and Ashens and all. Maybe, I don't know.
I've never met that squadron
Neither have I.
of English people.
Since we're coming to the end here, guys, you will have noticed earlier on there was an audio problem. I apologize for that. It's because I didn't the camera stopped. It basically fucks up recording for about a second, 35 minutes in, and I forgot about that. And we're now at 46. So there's a half a second or a second where you didn't have audio, and I apologize.
And everyone will be like, "What happened? That was the most crucial second of the podcast."
Anyway, now we can have Giovanni Jones saying sorry as well.
I'm not sorry for anything. I had nothing to do with anything. But yeah, so it's me, everybody. I'm glad to see that no one's too pissed off at me, but I do have a really good trivia fact for you, okay? So get ready, sit down, it's gonna blow your goddamn minds. Did you know there's no such thing as fish? It's true. Most different species of what we call fish are so genetically different from each other, they're closer to other mammal species. Crustaceans like me, hagfish, eels, one-celled organisms than they are to each other. We just kind of lump them together and call them fish. It makes it easy on menus, I guess. But there's no such thing as a genus or a phylum or a species that's just fish. You were lied to this whole time. There are crustaceans. No. I'm special. Don't give me that look, Hagen. She's giving me a look. But anyway, that's my fact for today. I gotta go. I'll see you later. My adoring radio public. Why are we giving him that look?
Because he tried to kill me.
He didn't. He's a lobster. You could butt him if you wanted to.
He tried to kill
He
me.
did not try to kill you. Guns don't kill people. Lobsters with
did.
guns kill people. But yeah, so that's us. We're doing things and stuff. If you see us at a convention, please come up and say something. Because a lot of times we'll be at an event or something, standing around talking about stupid bullshit. I'll be like, well, if we defrosted the chicken breast, we could have that tomorrow, and then we could do takeaway on Friday. And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess we could. And then, like, out the corner of my eye, someone's, like, sidling on up and like, oh, are you Diamanda Hagan? And then she'll be like, yes. Like, I'm sorry I interrupted you! And we're talking about defrosting chicken breast. I'm like, no, come, speak. We talk about chicken breast all the time. You have your time.
In QCon in Belfast, someone was like, "Are you Diamanda Hagan?" And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "Oh, are you cosplaying as the?" And so they're really excited about that. But then they were like looking at my clothing, and they were like, "Are you cosplaying as the prisoner?" And I was like, "No." And I showed that I had an eagle head with me. So I was like, "No, I'm cosplaying as." And he's like, "Oh, Colonel Chestbridge from Danger 5." So if you see Colonel Chestbridge at BroCon or Con Bravo or Alcon, it's probably me. And then someone else tweeted at me after QCon and said, I thought I saw you. I thought you were a Diamanda Hagan cosplayer." And I replied with, "Well, I wasn't wearing makeup, so I would have been a terrible Diamanda Hagan cosplayer."
Yeah, whenever we go somewhere, like, people are like, oh, you're cosplaying Diamanda Hagan, and you're like, try that one more time. My favorite was when we were in New Orleans, and this was at a LARP convention that we kind of just went to because it was in New Orleans, and my best friend had a free room, and she was like, hey, free room if you want in on this shit.
Yeah, 4 days in New Orleans.
So we technically went to this con, so we were in the dealer's room looking at stuff, and I saw some friends of mine. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And my one friend's like, just looking so much, and she goes, did anyone ever tell you you look and sound a lot like Diamanda Hagan? And then your face was priceless because you were like, uh-huh, that's the genuine article, baby.
Well, that was because about 20 minutes earlier we were walking through the French Quarter,
no, it doesn't matter,
and I said, there's a slight possibility that someone will recognize me because there's overlap between the internet reviewing community and the Vampire the Masquerade community, and you were like, that'll never happen. And then 20 minutes later, bam! One of your friends who didn't know who you were dating at the time.
But I was on Facebook. We're Facebook friends.
And she didn't realize.
I'm just saying.
Remember we went into the fan at Philadelphia Pride as well.
Oh yeah, like we overheard this person saying, it looks a lot like Diamanda Hagan. And you were like, didn't someone call me? We were like, hey, what's up, you?
Yeah, I like meeting fans because it makes them happy.
Yeah.
I think it's happy. If I run into someone who I think is cool, even if it's in public and they were all nice to me, that would make me happy.
Yeah.
So I try to do the same thing.
One of the reasons I said that about the convention is because I just like the only interface between our world and that one was apparently at one point a friend of Spoonie's was like, oh, you really need to go to this Camarilla game. It's a LARP game. And he's like, okay. And apparently, like, whatever domain he went to really treated him like shit. And so he, like, either he did a video or he wrote an article about it. This is before he left Channel Awesome. And then, so it came across on one of the lists, like, oh, this person is bashing Cam and things and stuff. And I'm like, you fools. That is Spoonie. He is mightier than all of you put together. His are the views, the glory, and the honor.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's been us. That's been episode 89. I have been the Omega, and honey, who would you have want to have been this week?
Giovanni Jones. Evil
Liar!
version.
Liar! You liar!
An
Shut
evil
up.
twin who's got a goatee.
You don't even have any claws!